Continuing here on the Elias Macko Show, and every couple of weeks on Monday, David Heurtel drops on in the program so we can talk even more politics, because I love bantering about politics with David Heurtel. David, are you there?
I'm there. Great to be with you, Elias.
Yeah, it's great to talk to you this morning, David. So, listen, there's two ways we're gonna do both angles here. So, I don't know how you want to start off. I will go with what you think. Obviously, Pierre Arcand, he's out. He's not running again. And the Liberals this morning announced their replacement candidate for Pierre Arcand. What does this say about the party? David, you go.
Well, first, a quick word to recognize the service of Pierre Arcand. 15 years in politics. He was a minister in the Charest government, a colleague of mine in cabinet under the Couillard government. Great experience, contributed a lot to Quebec, and always did it with a lot of class and a lot of intelligence. So a word to recognize that service. This man did not have to do this. He was very successful in business. And to contribute and to go into public service, I mean, needs to be recognized. Now, towards Michelle Setlakwe, I mean, well, yes, she was a corporate lawyer, municipal council in town Mount Royal. She was defeated soundly by a complete unknown, Peter Malouf, who came out of nowhere to win the mayoral election. I think it's a nice get by Dominique Anglade, but are we saying this is a star candidate? We can't really say that. Mm-hmm. Other interesting note, she is the spouse of Michael Fortier, former conservative senator, former conservative minister under Stephen Harper, who's now at RBC Capital Markets. But I mean, it shows that yes, Dominique Anglade is still showing, new faces, bringing in women into politics. That's interesting. But at the same time, when you have a seat like Mount Royal Outremont, you are usually looking for high-level star candidates. I mean, like Pierre Arcand previously, I mean, it was the legendary John Chacha, who for decades was the MNA in Mount Royal. Outremont, before the merger, it was Hélène David. It was also the type of seat that was reserved for a minister. And I would say, Elias, that this is also sending a message that there seems to be now this foregone conclusion that the Liberals are basically in a mode to basically just say what they can. And that's maybe the biggest shift here with these types of announcements. And finally, and you mentioned it, I mean, Michelle Setlakwe, again, very competent woman, but again, not somebody who is known in the Anglophone community, not somebody who has credentials or street cred, if you'll allow the expression, within the Anglophone community. But again, I think for that, the nominations in NDG to replace Kathleen Weil, in Robert Baldwin to replace Carlos Leitao, and of course in Darcy McGee to replace David Birnbaum. Those are going to have to be three very important nominations for Dominique Anglade if she has any shot of regaining any type of momentum within the Anglophone community.
I want to get to those three ridings that you just mentioned, but first things first. I had heard that there were options on the table for this riding, for the Mount Royal Outremont riding, that were more star candidate. Did you hear that as well? Did you hear that there were some other people that were considered that were now looked over in this instance?
What I understand right now is that Dominique Anglade's game plan is to showcase, first of all, she is definitely focused on female candidates. That is one priority for her, from what I've heard from sources inside the process. Another thing is to bring people that are not already in politics. She is really trying to transform the Liberal Party. We've seen this over the past few years. And I think that's what is guiding her right now. But if you look at Michelle Setlakwe, I mean, you can't say this is necessarily somebody who's progressive. I mean, this is a pretty much establishment person. But again, for Mount Royal, I mean, it's a good candidacy. But in terms of more known people within politics, I know there's a clear objective here to go out of the mainstream and bring in maybe younger, newer generation people that are from outside politics, and with a big emphasis on bringing in more women.
We're talking politics with our political analyst, David Heurtel. So if we look at those ridings, Robert Baldwin, Carlos Leitao, the report is out that he won't run, and we'll find out sooner than later that he's not running. That you look at Catherine Weil in NDG, you look at Darcy McGee and David Birnbaum's riding. Those three, David, in my mind, okay, those ridings, you're going to need to have, I don't know if star is the right word, because I don't know how many stars are going to want to run for the Liberals. But you're going to need some Anglo faces to save face with Anglophones when they've got a couple of options, right? These protest parties to go with. Do you agree with me on that one? Like, do they need to actually have some Anglo candidates in these ridings?
Well, I think they do. I really think, like, for example, Elias, I think when you look at these three ridings and you look at what's been happening over the past few weeks and months with the way the Liberals have really seemingly doing everything they can to lose the support of the Anglophone community, I think right now it's going to be very crucial to get people that are from the community, that are known within the community. It is difficult to recruit stars because most of the people that are leaving the Liberals right now were ministers in either or the Couillard government or the Charest government. And when you're recruiting and you can't really promise or even dangle the possibility of becoming a minister in a Liberal government or any type of government, it's difficult. It makes it more difficult for people to leave jobs when they know they're going to spend their time in opposition. But then the good side of that is you're getting true believers, people who believe in something and get involved. The thing is that it's going to be about not only the two new parties, Elias, but it's going to be about Liberal voter apathy. It's, I think, the biggest enemy right now of the Liberals in Western Montreal, in Laval, and on the South Shore, because there's at least one seat that's in trouble, the La Porte seat, which is Saint-Lambert Greenfield Park, which is in trouble because Nicole Ménard, the former MNA, is not running. Well, not the former, the current MNA is not running either. The fact is that it's going to be about, will Liberals come out? And the way to rebuild is to have people that are from the communities that you've seen in your writing before, that are involved, that know the issues, that are from where you live, and that are already involved. Now, you can say Michelle Setlakwe checks those boxes. Now, she's not very well known outside of town of Mount Royal, and the writing has changed. I mean, it's Côte des Neiges. I mean, it's part of the writing is Côte des Neiges now. Yes. It's not just swanky town of Mount Royal and the rich part of Outremont. It's the very diverse, very lower income part of Côte des Neiges as well. So she has to go out there and show that social progressive side that Dominique Anglade wants to promote. But it's the same thing in those three Anglophone writings. The key here is to have people that are from the community, that are known in the community, and are involved, so that people will know that even though the Liberals have very little chance of forming a government next time around, their ideas and their issues will be defended in the National Assembly.
David, thank you for bringing up the demographic profile now of that Mount Royal Outremont riding, okay? Because I'm imagining a scenario, and Philip J. Fournier was on the program last week, and he went over 5 Montreal ridings that the Liberals have that they could lose now with the latest numbers. And I'm just thinking of a scenario: what if Ballarat Holness says, you know what? I'm going to run in Côte-des-Neiges. I'll write in that, right? I'll write in Mount Royal, Outremont. And, you know, the Liberals, you know, they are losing support. They've lost support amongst Francophones, right? So they've lost support amongst Francophones. Ballarama goes, makes a connection with the diverse part of that riding.
Sure.
And then come October, it's the nightmare on Van Horn, right? You know, I mean, for the Liberal Party in that riding, like, I know, I get it. You look at the numbers, they win with 70% or whatever.
Sure.
But, you know, I'm just saying to myself, David, you know, it may not work out for them if the vote gets split too much.
There could be a scenario. Again, if you look, I mean, Town of Mount Royal itself is liberal. I mean, you've had interesting challenges before, big names. I mean, Town of Mount Royal is liberal, but Outremont is very diverse. And it's not, again, the name is misleading because it's not just what we know about Outremont, you know, the very high end around in and around Mount Royal. The Mount Royal, it's more, it's much more diverse. So, and remember, during the municipal election, actually, one of the best showings for Ballarama Holness's party was in Côte-des-Neiges. Now, it didn't even come close to voting, but the candidate there for mayor got close to 4,000 votes. Yeah. Plus, and that was enough to create the conditions that we remember now, but where Gracie Katawa from Projet Montréal eked out a win against Lionel Perez. Those 4,000 votes were crucial. And also, you have Joe Ortona in Côte-des-Neiges, remember?
Yes.
And Joe Ortona, with everything that happened with, again, Denis Coderre's management of the Anglo-Franco issue, Joe Ortona went in as an independent, and he got close to 1,000 votes.